Hello, in this video I'm going to demonstrate TDD, test-driven development with React and Cypress. I wanted to do this video because I think it's hard for people new to TDD or people that want to try it out. It's hard to know where to start with front-end projects, so I wanted to give you all a simple example that I hope you can learn and build from. And this is the task we're going to be working on today. It's from a project called 7 GUIs. We're going to be doing the first task, which is counter. So it's very simple, just a input field with a button. You click the button, increase the count. Very simple and easy, but I hope this helps get the fundamentals down and get a nice intro into TDD with front-end development. Real quick, before we get started, I'm starting a Discord server. So if you're interested in software craftsmanship, TDD, topics like this, go ahead and check out this server. I'll put a link in the description to my blog where I've got a link to the Discord server. Click that link, you'll get an invite, and come on in and join. I want to do things like pair programming, general discussion, things like that. So check it out. Also, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and also comment something you learned, something you liked, and anything I messed up or did wrong. Thanks. Let's take a quick look at the project setup. Over here on the left side of the screen, I have my editor. Right now, I have one file, which is app.tsx. This is where we're going to start. Other file I have open is counter.cy.ts. This is where we're going to be writing our Cypress tests. Then on the right side of my screen, I have the Cypress test runner open. Currently, it's showing one green test. That is just this boilerplate test that I have right now, and it's passing. You can see over here is a quick preview of the code as written. So that will auto reload when I change it. For example, if I change the 7 to an 8 and save, you can see over here that updates for me. Let's write our first test. And this first test, we're just going to make sure that the input field and that button to increase the count exist. So I'm going to write in my description or the name of the test. And I'm using Cypress queries along with some ones that I'm getting from Cypress testing library to query for these elements. So we're looking for a button with the text of count, and we are saying that that should exist. Then for our input field, what we're going to do is we're going to use the find by label text. And what that matcher query does is it looks for a label with the text that we pass it, and then it looks for the input field that's tied to that label. And we're going to use count. And I need to add a should exist onto that format. And when I save, our tests pick that up and they begin running. We're looking for the button and we don't find it, and we fail. So that's our first failing test. All right, let's go ahead and pass this one. Let's flip back over to our app.tsx. I'm going to keep this header for now, but I'm just going to surround this, right, this, and we'll do this. Just give ourselves some space, wrap that with a div, and then I'm just going to simply add a label, and we'll just say count. We'll get our input field. I'll just make a type of number right now, give it an ID of count to match our label so that they're tied together. Value is 0 to start. And then we need our button. I save that, I have to go over here and click refresh. When I do the tests rerun, we've got our input field and our button, so our test is green and happy. For our refactoring, first thing I need to do is fix this formatting. This looks terrible. Luckily I have Prettier integrated into my editor. That's a lot better. Let's flip over to our test. We're pretty slim right now. We don't have a lot of code, so I think this is looking good for now. So I think we can move on. Right now where we're at, all we have is just count. We've got an input field. We've got a button that currently doesn't do anything, and we're going to fix that in the next step. All right, let's write a test now that asserts that we should increase the count when we click the button. All right. And to do this test, we're going to at least take this button query. I'll just take that and put it back down here. We're going to click that button, and then we will grab the query to grab our input field. Instead of should exist, we're going to say it should have value of 1. And when I run that, you can see it's thinking, it clicked the button, it's looking for the input field. It says expected 0, but it was actually 1. All right, let's make this button work. Flip back over to our app.tsx, and the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to wrap these elements in a form, get rid of the action for now, and we're going to make the button a type of submit. So when we click, we are submitting the form. We're going to give the form an on submit action. We're going to do that with a handle submit function. So let me define that up here. Get my typing right there. There we go. This will receive a form event like so. We'll import that from React. First thing we'll do is we'll prevent default, so we're not submitting our form. And then we need some state to handle our count. So let's bring in a useStateHook. Call it count and set count. 0 will be the default value. Then we will set count, being sure to get our previous count, and we'll return the previous count plus 1. And then in our value, this becomes count. And then it looks like I've got a mistake here. What did I do wrong? Need to import useState. Import that from React. Save. Okay. Looks like we're all happy over here. Let's go ahead and rerun the test. Okay, and it looks like that worked. Let me just bring it up in the regular browser, see what we've got. Now we've got this button. I click it, the count increases. Let's now look at what we can do to refactor our code. And the first thing I want to do is I want to clean up these duplicate Cypress queries that we have. Cypress has a neat feature called aliases, kind of like variables, so you can save a query and then you don't have to keep referencing it in the same way. So what I'm going to do is in the before each, I'm going to move this find by role query. I'm going to grab all of this and I'm going to come up here and we're going to do as button. And then I'll do the same for our input. I'm going to grab this part, go back up, not paste it there, paste it here, and say as, we'll call this input. Okay, so now what I can do is everywhere where I'm using those queries, I can say side.get at button. And here I can say side.get at input. Similar thing here, replace everything up to the click, side.get button, and oops, side.get at input. Let me save that, and our tests rerun, and we're still green. So that is excellent. I'm going to switch up, not switch up, but I'm going to add a little bit to this test. Why not click the button at least one more time and make sure that we have 2. And then also, let's just make sure that at the beginning of our test, we have 0. So we start the test, count is at 0, click the button 1, click the button again, and it goes to 2. And we're still green there. Also, in our app.tsx, let's go ahead and extract this count specific code into its own component. So I'm going to take this and let's just create a count, paste that in, and then we'll come up here and we'll grab all that state, paste it in there. I think that looks good. Finally, I'm going to add that right there. And then why not put this in its own file while we're at it? So let me just grab all of that, open this up. Let's create count.tsx. Paste that in, and I need these imports. Okay, and then let's go ahead and export that out. Then we'll come back into our app and re-import it. All right, once that is done, we can see back over here, application is loading again, and we rerun the tests and they're still green. That will wrap it up for this 7 GUIs project for the counter. Pretty simple, but I hope that it gives you a good introduction to how you can do TDD with React with a front-end project. Again, let me know if you liked this video, and check out my blog, check out that Discord server, comment, subscribe, and thanks for watching.